Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is honestly a blessing and a dream come true. Today, I'm going to compare the big three full-size American pickup trucks for you guys. This 2021 Ram 1500 Limited Longhorn, this 2021 Chevy Silverado High Country, and lastly, this 2021 Ford F-150 XLT. So, let's get started.
Before we begin, this is definitely going to be a unique shout out because I've never actually had to thank three dealerships in the same video at once. So I'm going to put all three on screen at the same time. And if you're looking for a Ford, Chevy, or Ram, Brown Dobbs dealerships and Koch have you covered. I'll leave links to each of their respective websites in the description below.
Starting out up front on the trucks, I'll address the elephant in the room first. Yes, this F-150 is a lower trim compared to the other two trucks, and you might be saying, well, Isaac, that's unfair. And you'd be right. It's almost unfair to the Silverado and the Ram because this XLT is fully equipped with some features that neither of these other two trucks include. And due to the chip shortage right now, I unfortunately could not get a higher trim of the F-150. So I thought this was a pretty fair comparison since they all have V8 engines, and I thought that was about the closest comparison I could get for the money and the engine specifications. Anyway, let's start out here up front. On the Ram here, you'll get full LED headlights with LED daytime running lights and turn signals. You'll have parking sensors across the front and two tow hooks down here with Ram spelled out across a gigantic chrome grille. Then on the Silverado, you'll again have full LED headlights, LED daytime running lights and turn signals, parking sensors down here, and tow hooks. And then this one is equipped with a 360-degree camera system, so you'll have the front camera for that incorporated right below the bow tie on the grille. And then moving over to the F-150, again, full LEDs, except you are going to get incandescent turn signals. That is one downside of the XLT trim, though of course on the higher trims they are optioned at LEDs. And then you'll again have parking sensors and tow hooks down here, and then on your Ford badge you'll have the camera for this truck's 360-degree camera system incorporated into the Ford logo. Overall, I think all three of these trucks are incredibly sharp, and if given the choice, I'd gladly take any of them. Moving underneath the hood in all three of these trucks, they're fairly similarly matched. They are all powered by V8s. Starting with the F-150, it is powered by a 5-liter Coyote V8, making 395 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, and that is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. The Silverado is paired to a 6.2-liter Ecotec V8, making 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and that is also paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. While the Ram is powered by the ever-reliable 5.7-liter Hemi V8, this time paired with e-torque, making 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, and that is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Moving to the payload and towing capacities, they're fairly evenly matched, though the Silverado does lead with towing, but the F-150 leads by a long shot in the payload capacity. Also, all three of them have automatically dropping tailgates. That's pretty neat. So I thought this could kind of be a fun bit. Since I've done extensive reviews on all three of these trucks, and you guys probably know my opinions, in addition to giving my own, I've brought two of my friends along, and they're gonna do walkarounds on each of the trucks, and then I'm gonna have them grade each truck from best to worst in 3 categories: best exterior, best interior, and best driving. So let's see the qualifications of my friends right here. Could I just get your name and your qualifications?
My name is Justin Sassman. My qualifications are Ford's #1.
Do you think you're going to have any bias in this review in comparing anything?
No, I don't believe so. Ford is always #1.
Okay, all right. He seems unbiased in that situation. And your name and qualifications, sir?
Howdy, my name is John Zangari, and I'm a temporarily embarrassed truck owner.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but here we go. Moving to the profile of each truck, starting with the F-150 here, you have really nice 18-inch wheels on here, then you'll have your XLT badge, and then on the mirror cap you will have a light, a camera, and then another puddle light incorporated into it with blind spot monitoring and power mirrors. This also has keyless entry on these chrome door handles, and you're also going to get regular running boards on this one, no power deploying. That is of course an option on some of the higher trims. Then moving back here, of course, you saw earlier, this does have the ability to drop the tailgate from the key fob, but you can also drop it manually. But before we do that, there is a camera and another light incorporated into here. Dropping the tailgate down, very nice spray and bed liner right here with some LEDs, and then you are gonna get an AC 120 volt outlet back here. Always nice to see that. Moving on to the profile of the Ram, this one has very nice 20-inch wheels, and then up here you'll get your Hemi 1500 e-torque badge, your Ram limited Longhorn badge, and then up on the mirror it is chrome with a turn signal indicator incorporated into it, and blind spot monitoring with a smaller blind spot mirror right there. And then moving down to the door handle, which is partially wrapped in chrome, this also has keyless entry. Now this one does have power deploying running boards, which is always nice to see, though of course I did mention that's an option on the F-150. This is a slightly higher trim than that, and they fold back in to give you a really flush look and nice ground clearance. Moving back here, you'll have your blind spot monitoring incorporated into the taillight, and then you'll have another badge, dual exhaust back here, and then your Ram logo with a camera incorporated into that tailgate. This one, of course, also drops and is dampened. Pretty sparse back here. You have some tie downs and LEDs, though other than that, there is not a ton in the back. Lastly, moving to the Silverado, you're gonna get 22-inch wheels on here. Absolutely massive. Then you'll get your high country badge right there. And then on your mirror, you'll have a light incorporated into it and a camera as well as another puddle light. This one also has blind spot monitoring. Moving down here, you are going to get nice chrome running boards, though these ones do not power deploy either, unfortunately, but you do get keyless entry incorporated into the chrome door handles. As we move down here, this does have side steps up into the bed, which is always nice to see, and you will also have parking sensors down here. Then this has Chevy's new multi-function tailgate, previously only available on the higher trimmed GMC trucks. So I'll give you a quick rundown of this. You'll get a light incorporated in here and a backup camera. If you tap the top button right here, that is going to drop just this top section, and that's going to give you a little workbench. And then if you want a bed extender, there is a grab handle right here, and you can pull that out, and that will lift up, and so you can use that as kind of a bed extender. And then if you want, you can put it down. Now obviously this drops as a regular tailgate, but if you tap both these buttons at the same time, it will drop the lower section, and then you can pull that out, use this as a step, and there is a grab handle that you can pull out if you need assistance getting up into the bed. Moving in here, you do have LEDs, and this also has an AC 120 volt outlet in here. Always nice to see. Moving to the interior of the Silverado, it is also very nicely appointed in here. Very nice leather textures. I really like the brown contrast, and then you'll get real wood in here. You'll also have your mirror controls, though this has the option of power folding the mirrors. The F-150 does not include that on the XLT trim. You'll also have your drive modes, four-wheel drive selector, stuff like that, and your lighting. This also has a newer, larger center console, or center gauge cluster rather, screen that you can also control the radio, your Bluetooth, and see a digital speedometer from. Also flanked by 2 traditional gauges, and then you'll have your controls for not only that, but your cruise control on here, and then you will have a column shifter. Continuing out the cabin, there is a very nice brown leather texture. And then moving to the infotainment screen, this is a smaller screen compared to its competitors at only 8 inches, but it is very quick and responsive. You also do have a lot of different camera options on here with the 360-degree camera system, and you also get a bed camera, which is very useful. The F-150 also includes that. I forgot to mention that does include it on there. And then You're going to get a lot of different angles that you can go to when you're reversing, so it really makes it difficult to get this truck into an accident when you're parking because there's so many angles, which is really helpful because all three of these trucks are really large, so the more cameras, the better. And this does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built in wirelessly, which is always nice to see. Moving below that, you'll have your climate controls with heated and ventilated seats in here. I've always liked how Chevy does the different numbers on the climate controls. I think that's pretty cool when you spin it. And then you'll have a row of parking sensors. You also have a button to drop the tailgate from back here as well, and a button to drop all the windows. Then you'll have your trailer brake control, USB, USB-C, 12-volt household outlet in here, and then a wireless charger with some more of the nice wood and cup holders. It's very comfortable on the armrest here, and then opening it up, there is USB, USB-C, auxiliary, and an SD card slot in addition to more storage. This, of course, does have full leather inside, and if we move up here, there is a regular sunroof, no option for panoramic though, unfortunately. And lastly, moving to the mirror, you also have the ability to flip that for an actual camera instead. So if somebody's blocking your visibility in the back seats, you can flip this, and that is one of the cameras that is built into this truck as well. Love that feature. This truck has a lot of very nice technology options, though unfortunately the smaller screen really holds this interior back, I feel. The build quality is very nice in here, though it just doesn't match in that aspect. Again, on the flip side, it does have some technology that Ford and Ram don't, so that is also cool to see. Rear of the Silverado, you'll have two cup holders, two heated seats back here, USB and USB-C, and a 12-volt along with climate vents. And then you can fold the seats up for a fairly flush load floor. Moving to the interior of the F-150, it is incredible in here. I am just so impressed with Ford's offerings recently. You'll have your controls right here for the mirrors and your windows, as well as your lighting controls down there. But I mean, even on this XLT, soft touch, leather material, pretty much everywhere on here. The build quality is phenomenal. This steering wheel leather is so comfortable. It's got to be one of the most comfortable steering wheels in the segment right now. And then you will have a whole host of buttons on here. Some for your center gauge cluster screen right here. That allows you to do pretty much anything you want. Your speedometer, your different trip stuff, your towing, your radio, pretty much anything. And then that is going to be flanked by two traditional gauges. This does have a column shifter, always nice to see. Push button start, your trailering and your trailer brake, as well as your drive mode selector. Your climate controls down here with heated seats on the XLT. Really just like the quality of the buttons here is just incredible. And then moving up here to your 12-inch infotainment system. Absolutely love this, incredibly responsive. Ford really knocked it out of the park with this particular infotainment system. One of my favorite features is zone lighting. So at night, let's say you're out in the woods or you're camping, you can turn on all these zones, and it's really, really cool. So you can basically illuminate the entire area around the F-150. Always great to see. And then this one does have a backup camera with the 360-degree system, which I absolutely love. And it's amazing to see even on this XLT trim. As I said, this is a fairly fully equipped XLT. I don't know if I've ever seen a truck at this price point with so many features. Down here, you'll have USB and USB-C, a great amount of storage, and then a really nice armrest wrapped in leather with some more storage in here and a spot to put some coins. Now this one does have cloth seats. That's one of the downsides of the XLT. Obviously, the higher you go in the trim line, it's going to have leather, but the rest of this interior is so nice overall. It's something you'd overlook. And honestly, these cloth seats are really, really comfortable. And one of the things that completely steals the show is that this does have a panoramic sunroof, which is incredible. That is not an option on the Silverado at all, and it is a higher trim option on the Ram. This particular one doesn't actually include that. So absolutely got to give it to Ford. They knocked it out of the park with this particular F-150. This new generation has really sold me on it. Moving briefly into the rear seats of the F-150, you'll get cup holders, vents, a 12 volt, an AC 120 volt back here, and USB and USB-C. This also does have the ability to fold the seats up. Moving to the interior of the Ram. Now, of course, I am biased, but I am also the reviewer, and I have to say this has the best interior, hands down. The finishing is fantastic. The leather stitching is incredible. You're also going to get the ability to fold the mirrors on the inside here, and then you're also going to have your lighting controls, and this does have adjustable pedals down here, so depending on your height you can bring them forward or backward. Always nice to see that. The steering wheel has real wood, and it is so comfortable on here with the leather, Bluetooth, and your cruise control settings on the steering wheel. And then this also has a fairly large screen in the center that you can do pretty much the same thing as all the other trucks with: your fuel economy, your digital speedometer, your off-roading settings, tire PSI, the works. But I mean, just compared to the other trucks, look at the interior like detail on these gauges. Ram really paid attention to them, especially on these Longhorn trims. They're like really the cowboy-esque trim of the truck. I have a very thorough and in-depth review of this particular truck already on my channel, so I'm just going to breeze through some of the really cool features. Obviously, you're going to get this 12-inch infotainment system in here. This is going to have heated and ventilated seats in here with a heated steering wheel. You'll have a power deploying running board button on here, so you can turn that on and off. You have your mirror dimmer in here, though this does not have the cool camera mirror that the Silverado has, so that's one more point to the Silverado. This does also have probably the weakest of all the shifters. This has a dial, so you turn it, and it does respond pretty quickly. I'm just not a fan of the dial compared to a column shifter. If you're going to save space, I think that would work a little bit better, though that is still really nice. Moving down here, you'll have your trailering controls and some USBs, and then this really nice limited Longhorn badge in here with the, just look at the stitching in this leather, incredible. And then if I move this storage bin cover, I mean, the premium materials in here are just unmatched. This is just incredible. Dodge has really stepped up their game. I mean, look at these seats. They are by far the most comfortable between the three trucks, and the interior is just so neat. Obviously, that is my subjective opinion. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. I mean, look at the branded limited Longhorn badge in the dash there, and this is actually also a storage cubby, so you can open that up. That's really nice to see. And then you'll have a glove box down there. But overall, I mean, the interior, even up here on the dash, you'll get a Harman Kardon sound system. Like, look at the premium nature. This, between the other trucks, just really feels the most premium. That's the best description that I could give when comparing it to the other two. Moving to the rear seats very quickly, in the Ram, in the center here, you're going to have heated and ventilated seats, as well as an AC 120 volt outlet with cup holders and climate vents. Then you're also going to get this cool stitching back here, and they didn't need to do this for the back storage area, but they went the extra mile. You'll also get some storage bins down here, and the seats do fold up. All right, driving the 5-liter Coyote V8 with the F-150. I've actually never driven this particular configuration before. It's very smooth and very sporty. That's what I really love about the Fords, is how sporty they feel compared to some of the other trucks. Now, I really do like the boxy feel of the Silverado and the Ram, but I think that Ford's sportiness is unmatched, and these interior seats are incredibly comfortable. It's got to be the most comfortable between all of them, and these are actually cloth seats. Opening it up a little bit here, oh yeah, this is very responsive. Pedal to the metal, instant acceleration. This thing feels fantastic. It handles very well, grippy around turns, and it doesn't feel massive. You know, it definitely feels like it could be maneuvered in tighter spaces like inner city streets and stuff like that, which I think is a really big plus compared to some of the other trucks. But that's pretty much going to wrap up my driving impressions for this F-150, keeping all of these pretty brief because I have a lot to get through. All Alrighty, driving the 2021 Chevy Silverado High Country. This is a great truck. I've mentioned in the past how much I love General Motors' 6.2 liter Ecotec V8. I think it's just so responsive. You know, when I put my foot down here on the gas, it just is so quick and it's so much fun to drive. And this interior is really nice. Yes, it is lacking compared to some of the competition. It could use a larger touchscreen. It could use a full panoramic moonroof. But I think Chevy really makes up for that in this truck with the interior comfort level. This is one of the most comfortable trucks I've ever sat in. The steering wheel leather is so nice, very plush on the armrests, and the seats are so comfortable in this truck as well. The view is very commanding. I've always really liked the view out of these Silverados as compared to something like an F-150 or a Ram. I just think it has the most towering and commanding view. And the overall feel of this truck is just like burly. It feels like a big trucky truck. And the F-150, admittedly, it feels a lot sportier and more SUV or sedan-like, and a lot of people really like that. And I do like that in certain aspects, but there is just something with this Silverado that I just really love. Alrighty, driving the Ram 1500 Limited Longhorn. This thing is very smooth and it's very sporty in its drive. It handles amazingly around corners, and honestly, it's just almost like a sports car in how it handles. And you'd think that it being so big would have an effect on its handling, but honestly, it doesn't. Being so big, you think it would be kind of chunky or difficult to drive, but honestly, this thing's very sporty. It floats really well around corners, and it just handles overall quite well, very responsively on the gas. So the handling is phenomenal in this truck. It's very smooth to drive, and the interior comfort is bar none. It is fantastic. And it's gonna get all your jobs done. I mean, I'd be nervous to actually throw stuff into the bed like mulch and logs and stuff, because I wouldn't want to scratch the paint or come in here and, you know, scratch the leather with my keys or anything, because it's so nice. But this is really the best of all the worlds. It's a luxury car. It's a truck that hauls. It's a family mover. It's so crazy how trucks have become the multi-purpose vehicle now, you know? Like, they are the everything vehicle, and I think it's great because I love trucks and it's so cool. Alrighty, checking back in with Justin and John. While I've been reviewing the trucks for you guys, they've been taking them out on test drives, and they've been looking at the interior and the exterior quality, the buttons, the features, the infotainment systems. So we're gonna see where they each rank. Just a reminder, I'm having them rank on interior with the infotainment and all the technology, the exterior styling, and how they feel to drive. So, Justin, what do you think? Does the Ford win in every category?
It hurts to say, but no, it doesn't.
Okay, so what are your top?
My top for interior is going to be the Ram.
Okay.
It hurts to say that. And then the driving, it's going to be the Ram again. I know it's sacrilege saying that coming from a Ford guy, but Ram has it beat. And then for the exterior, I can't say it, but it's going to be the Chevy.
Oh, wow, a shocking upset here. This is crazy. All right, let's check in with John and see where John falls in his opinions. What do you think, John?
So for me, for the interior, it's going to have to go to the Ram. It's unmatched. Okay. The attention to detail is incredible. Exterior, I'm going to have to go with the Chevy as well. Nothing beats this aggressive look.
Yeah.
But then for the drive, I'm going to go on a real tangent here and say that it's going to be the Ford.
Oh, wow.
The Ford drive's good. And
have you just developed a Southern accent as you were saying Ford?
A little bit.
What the heck?
It's the Ram. You go sit in a Ram, you turn into a Southern person.
Wow, that's wild. I didn't know that was also a feature.
Right. That's how it works.
Okay, great. Wow, so pretty even across the board here. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. That is going to conclude my comparison between these three trucks. I am so thankful to Brown Daub Chevy, Brown Daub Ram, and Koch 33 Ford for allowing me to compare these for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section below. Additionally, I am a Christian, so if you have any prayer requests, you can also leave those in the comment section below. And I like to do a weekly Bible verse, so here that is. And with that Bible verse, as I always like to say, guys, no matter what vehicle you have, I hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well. Take care.